I heard you getting excited about it.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Everybody does. That's what I like about this.
Yes, indeed. And the interior was white in his.
So he had a. Do you know what year? Well, first, what's your name?
Carmen.
Carmen. Where are you from originally, Carmen?
Puerto Rico.
Oh, Puerto Rico. Well, welcome. Okay. So your brother had one of these here or in Puerto Rico?
No, here in New Jersey.
Oh, where in New Jersey? That's where I'm from. Camden, down by Philly. Okay.
Yes,
all right.
indeed.
All right. But anyway, was it the style?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. And it was blue and it had a white interior, you
Yes,
said.
indeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you know what year it was or no? When was this, though? Back then, right?
Back then. So you're talking about maybe 60s, in the 60s?
Yeah, so give me a story. One story about the car. Anything? Somewhere you went? Go ahead.
So where I went and I wanted to drive it, I didn't know how to drive, and
Okay.
I was little, but I still got behind it. And I tried to drive it, but I couldn't because I didn't know how to drive it.
Did it have a shift?
Yeah.
Ah, it did, like this has. Yeah, okay.
And that's it. That's the story.
And it was blue with white. And then you had one?
I had one in 1971.
71.
And it was like a 64.
Okay, that's the other style.
And it
Okay,
was
yes.
red. And the motor was in the back, and the gears were push button.
Push
I'm
button.
pretty sure it had,
It had a handle.
or a
Handle. It had a handle. It had a handle. Yes. Because I have a 62.
Okay.
The style changed in 65.
Okay.
So the 64 would have been the last year of that other style.
It didn't have this.
Right. No. It's either a lever or the floor.
what it
3
had.
or 4. Right. Okay. Great.
And I had it in Chicago, and it was in bad shape. I had bought it from some other kid. And when I was done with it, when I graduated, I just left it in the parking lot.
It's funny, no, because there was a guy I met down here. A neighbor of his had one, and asked a couple of the kids in the neighborhood if he could help them push it. So he pushed it into the canal in Lake Worth. No. So abandoned or buried. Somebody buried one. Another one was buried
in the parking lot of the hospital.
Now, the way I got into these is I had a friend. I was selling cleaning chemicals, and I stopped off at a church down here in Delray.
Yeah.
And Emmanuel Catholic Church. So I went there and I talked to the maintenance man, and on the wall he had a picture of a woman being buried in her Corvair. It was a newspaper article on the wall. So he said, well, why don't you come? I just bought a new pickup. So a guy passed away in the club who had like 12 Corvairs. So I wound up getting involved, and they gave me one.
No kidding.
So that's how I started with it. That was about 20 years ago.
I started with one. I started with it. I had it for a year. I bought it. I was from Jersey. I was in Fort Lee. It's where
Fort Lee.
I
Okay.
grew up in Fort Lee. I bought this car from some kid, $500. Drove out to Chicago. Barely made it to Chicago.
You went to get the car in Chicago?
No, I drove to Chicago.
You drove to Chicago from New Jersey?
From New Jersey.
In the Corvair?
Yes.
Crazy guy. You know, I've heard stories about
And
that
the
guy.
battery was weak. Chicago's a very cold place.
Oh, I know.
I used to have to take the battery out of the car every night and keep it on my radiator in my bedroom.
Are you kidding me?
Because if I left it in the car, it wouldn't start.
Now, there's a story right there. This guy was in Chicago with his Corvair, and he'd take the
battery
every day?
Every night when it was cold.
All right, so in the wintertime, he takes the battery out of the Corvair, carries it 3 flights, and puts it on the
Put it
radiator?
in my apartment that I had.
Oh
with
my
three
gosh, that's a
students,
story.
and kept it on the
That's
radiator.
a story. That's the best story I've heard yet. That is the best. Mike,
Carmen and
look for this on Florida Mixed Nuts Car Club.
I already took a
You know
picture.
what?
I took a picture of
That's
her.
on. Just write that in YouTube and you'll see it.
All right.
Okay?
I will.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, good.
Enjoy, definitely.